Hi everyone, welcome back to English with Anastasia. In this video, I'd like to concentrate on a grammatical topic and I would like to explain to you the formation of the present perfect verb tense. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what the present perfect verb tense is, when we use it, and how we form it. Stay with me and keep watching. So, what is present perfect? Present perfect is the verb tense that we use to talk about experiences and events in the past which are true or still happening up until right now. It often doesn't have a specified time for when events happened, right? So all we are interested in when using the present perfect tense is the experience or the result. We are not interested to hear when things happened, right? So let's take a look at the timeline below and think of some experiences and events which could have taken part up until now. So the squiggly line that we've got there signifies or indicates events that started sometime in the past but continued all the way up until right now or the present, right? So let's take a look at some examples of when we use the present perfect verb tense. Number one, I have been to Italy. With this example, I want to stress the experience, the result of me visiting Italy. So I don't specify the time. I don't say when I went to Italy. Or all I want to deliver to you is the message that I have been to Italy. I, I have visited it at some point in the past. Next example, I have lost my keys. I don't have my keys right now. So this is the result, right? So the action of losing the keys started uh, maybe half an hour ago or some time ago, but the result is in the present. I haven't got my keys right now. I have lived in the UK since 2004 is the next example. So I personally came to live in the UK in 2004 and I am still living here right now. So I have lived. I started in 2004 and the action, the result continues up until right now. So I would use the present perfect. I have lived in the UK since 2004. It doesn't matter when it was, um, it doesn't matter whether it was recent, the action, so losing the keys, or many years ago, me moving to the UK. The present perfect tells us that up until the present, the event or experience has occurred. So all that matters is that you have a result in the present. Okay? Hope that's clear, and let's move on to the formation of the present perfect. How do we form the present perfect? So all we need to do is we need to put our subject first in a positive sentence or a negative statement, and then we need to have a form of the verb have. So it would be either have or has, plus the participle number two, which is the past participle. Now, as you know, in English, we have two types of verbs. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs take the ed ending in the past simple form and in the past participle form. So the past simple and the past participle are the same for the regular verbs. And irregular verbs have two different forms in the past. Sometimes the two forms are the same. So if you have two different forms, which one do you use? You use the third column of the irregular verb list, the one that says past participle. On this slide here that I'm displaying, the form that you need to use is the green column. Yeah, the green column contains all the past participles, the forms that you would use with your present perfect. So let's take a look in more detail at how we form the positive, negative, and negative sentences and questions. Positive sentences, or we need to start with our subject. So the subject would be I, we, you, they, plus the form have, plus our participle, worked or gone in this case. So speaking of myself, I would say I have worked as a teacher for 11 years. He, she, or it, we would use the form of the verb has, and we would say he, she, or it has worked or has gone. Okay, negative. To form a negative statement, we would say I, we, you, they, plus have, plus the particle not, and we would contract it to haven't, and plus our past participle. Okay, I haven't worked in engineering. I have worked in teaching. He, she, or it has not, which would be contracted to hasn't. He, she, or it hasn't worked uh, in teaching. She has worked in engineering, for example. To form a question, we need to invert the verb have and the subject, and we would need to start with the verb have or has. So, have I, we, you, they worked or gone? And has plus the subject plus our past participle. Has she gone? I don't think so. I think she's still here. Yeah. Moving on, and we have some practice, right? So let's complete a practice task. And what do we have here? We have a gap where you would need to put or insert the past participle of the suitable verb. So what do we have here? We have question number 1 as an example. Have you ever ridden a motorbike? Have you ever? Now, with the present perfect, you have some time phrases that we often use, and those time phrases are um, adverbs such as ever or since or for. Uh, these are the most commonly used ones. Yeah, so have you ever ridden a motorbike means that we are asking about some kind of an experience. Yeah, so I'm interested to find out whether you have an experience of riding a motorbike. In this case, have you ever ridden? Yeah, we need the third form, the past participle. Ride, rode, ridden. So, question number 2. What would we have in the gap there? Think carefully. Have you ever an airplane? Correct. We would have you ever flown an airplane? Fly, flew, flown. Next one, number 3. Have you ever a cake? That's right. Have you ever eaten a cake? Number 4. Have you ever a poem? What do? You write a poem, or you can recite a poem. In this case, I've used the verb write. So the past participle that would go in the gap would be have you ever written a poem? Written. And last but not the least, have you ever off a diving board? The verb I'm using here is the regular verb. So have you ever Absolutely. Have you ever jumped off a diving board? Here's our practice task. And now I would like to quickly show you the difference between the present perfect versus past simple. Those are the two tenses that get mixed up by learners of English quite often. And it leads to some confusion sometimes as to when do we use the present perfect and when do we use past simple. The difference is quite clear and simple. So If you want to talk about the experience or the result, you would use present perfect and you would say, I have been to Italy without specifying a time period. So that would be our present perfect. And the second sentence, I was in Italy in 2007. So when we have a time period, that means a completed action, finished action in the past. And what matters here is the time. So we use the past simple. So experience versus time reference, right? Hope the formation and the use of present perfect is clearer to you now. Um, Leave me some examples of your own sentences with present perfect. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.